Hey everyone, I'm Sunny from the Success Blueprint Frameworks for Work and Life YouTube channel. Today we're looking into something a little different. Thinking like economists, not just what economists talk about, but how they think. So forget about daily stock updates for a moment. We're going back to the foundation, the core principles and models that help economists make sense of the world. By the end of this video, you'll have a whole new lens to look at everyday decisions, policies, and global trends. Let's jump in. Economics might seem abstract, but it's built on something solid, the scientific method. Just like in science, economists develop theories, gather data, and test predictions. But here's the twist. Unlike in physics, we can't run lab experiments on entire countries. Instead, economists rely on natural experiments like policy changes, historical shifts, or external shocks to study real-world effects. It's a bit like being a detective in the lab of history. Now, let's talk about assumptions. In economics, assumptions are not flaws, they're tools. Why? Because the real world is messy. Assumptions help economists zero in on what matters most by cutting out noise. Like simplifying a map, you don't need every tree and signpost to understand the main roads. Different questions call for different assumptions. Let's talk about economic models. Think of them like roadmaps. They don't show everything, but they give you a clear path. These models use graphs or equations to highlight essential relationships. They're not perfect representations, and, they're not supposed to be. But they help us think more clearly about cause, effect, and trade-offs. Let's look at our first core model, the circular flow diagram. Imagine just two players, households and firms. Money flows in a loop between them. In goods and services markets, firms sell, households buy. In factor markets, like labor and capital, households offer resources. Firms hire or rent them. It's a continuous, elegant cycle. Simplified, yes, but it captures the essence of economic activity. Next up, the production possibilities frontier, or PPF. Picture a graph showing combinations of two goods, say cars and computers, that a country can produce with current resources. Points on the curve mean efficient, points inside mean underutilized, and moving along the curve shows trade-offs, that more of one thing means less of the other. This introduces a key concept, opportunity cost. It's not just about money, but what you give up to get something else. And well, why is the PPF curved? Because not all resources are equally suited for all tasks. Some people are better at building cars than writing code. If technology improves or resources increase, the production possibilities frontier, or PPF, shifts outward. That outward shift means the economy can produce more of both goods. Hello, economic growth. Time to zoom in and zoom out. Microeconomics is all about the small-scale individual choices, companies, markets. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, is about the big picture: inflation, unemployment, GDP, policy tools. These are different scales, but they're deeply interconnected. Macroeconomics is really just the sum of millions of micro decisions. Economists don't just build models, they advise governments as well, and they use two types of analysis. First, positive economics. This describes the world as it is, testable and factual. Second, normative economics. This describes how the world should be. It's value-based. For example, positive. A higher minimum wage may reduce low-skill employment. Normative. The minimum wage should be raised to improve living standards. In policy, both matter, but only one is grounded in testable claims. You've probably seen it. Two economists, one issue, two opinions. Why? Well, there are two reasons. First, different scientific judgments, that is, interpreting complex data differently. Second, different values. Even with the same data, they might disagree on what's fair or desirable. So disagreement isn't a flaw, it actually reflects economics' human dimension. But here's the kicker: economists agree on a lot more than you might think. Surveys show near unanimous agreement on things like, price controls distort markets, tariffs usually hurt economies, and budget deficits can be dangerous in the long term. So, while debates are often loud, there's a solid core of consensus underneath. Let's talk about visualizing economics. Graphs are to economics what visuals are to storytelling essential. Whether it's pie charts showing proportions, time series showing trends, or demand curves showing relationships, they help communicate complex ideas fast. Understanding how to read, interpret, and question graphs is a vital skill. And finally, a big warning sign. Correlation does not equal causation. Just because two things move together doesn't mean one causes the other. For example, people who carry lighters have higher lung cancer risk, but lighters don't cause cancer. Smoking does, or more police in high crime areas. It doesn't mean police cause crime. The crime brings in more police. Always dig deeper than surface level data. So there you have it, the economist's mindset, scientific thinking, simplifying assumptions, core models like circular flow and PPF, micro versus macro, positive versus normative analysis, consensus and disagreement, visual tools like graphs, and that golden rule question, causality. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into how the world really works. One principle at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.